Hi, it's Brian Kazula with CostSeg RX. Today I'm going to go over the estimate of benefit portion of the proposal. So when you open up the proposal, go ahead and click down to where it says EOB and then the property address. On this proposal, we have two properties. Let's take a look at the first one, 124 Main Street. So this is a hotel that a client purchased for $6,400,000. They placed the property into service on October 15th, 2023. It's currently tax year 2023, so this is a same year study. So we've got the property address, 124 Main Street, Sarasota, Florida. The property type is a hotel. We have our in-service date. That's the date the property was ready and available for its intended use. In this case, it was an existing property, so it was a date the client acquired the property. We have the cost basis. So the purchase price of the property, and then we have to make any adjustments to the purchase price. So if this property was included in a 1031 exchange, we'd have to make an adjustment to the basis. And then we have to carve out a land allocation. In this case, we're using the county tax assessor's records, which show a 24% land allocation. So $1,536,000. And that leaves us with a building basis of $4,864,000. If the client had any improvements to this property, let's say it was going in and doing some capital expenditures and improving the property, we'd want to list those there. And then we have the total basis for cost segregation. So it's $4,800,000, and I believe that says $64,000. Let me blow it up a little bit. $4,864,000. And there's no accumulated depreciation because this property was placed into service in the current tax year. And then tax year 2023 is currently at an 80% bonus rate. So he could accelerate 80% of that into the first year. So then let's take a look at the next section of the estimate. You'll see on this top line, it says total estimated accelerated depreciation expense with cost segregation, $1,264,640. So that's the total accelerated depreciation that we're expecting to find. So that's all the short life assets. Now, the first year, so the estimated first year depreciation expense with cost segregation is going to be less. And the reason why it's less is because it's currently an 80% bonus year, so it's going to be less than the total that we find. Then the next section of the estimate of benefit is breaking down what we're expecting to find as far as assets. And this is more or less recreating what we're expecting your fixed asset schedule to look like with cost segregation. So you can see that we're looking at a building basis of $3,559,360. It's a commercial asset, so it's got a 39-year straight line depreciation method. The convention is mid-month. There's no bonus on straight line. So the current year accumulated depreciation is $19,257. Then we carve out the land improvements. So these are the site improvements, the parking lots, the flagpoles, the monument signs, swimming pools. I'm anticipating finding about $389,120 on this property. These are 15-year assets. And the current year bonus would be $311,296. And then your total accumulated depreciation is going to be a little bit higher because you also have current year depreciation that we look at. Then we look at your distributive trades and services. These are primarily your interior improvements. And I'm anticipating finding $875,520 in the asset class 57, which is a 5-year asset. So that would be this year's bonus depreciation at 80% is $700,416. And then you could see the current year total depreciation is slightly higher. And that's how we get the current year depreciation or the first year depreciation. Now, what I'm showing below this table is if you did not do cost segregation. So without cost segregation, you can see that everything would be in the building basis and your depreciation would be $26,022 for the current year. And if you scroll down to the next page, you'll see that I actually broke out a depreciation schedule for you. So you can see what the 5-year asset looks like in year one, what the 15-year asset looks like in year one, and then what the 39-year asset looks like just moving forward. And then also what it would look like if you did not do a cost segregation study. So just a side-by-side comparison. And what you would do is you just add the two up, or you would add all the numbers up, and that's how you'd get it calculated. Now let's look at the next property, because this is going to be a look-back property. So this is a property that you acquired in a previous tax year. And it's a little bit different because we're going to be pulling the data from your fixed asset schedule because the property was already placed into service. So you'll have the same property address, the property type, the date that it was placed into service, in this case, August 15th, 2022, the cost basis, any adjustments to the basis, for example, the 1031 exchange, like we talked about in the previous example, your land allocation, the building basis for cost segregation, any improvements that are included, again, the total basis for cost segregation. But this is the real difference here, is we've got to take into consideration any accumulated depreciation on the property already. And that's why it's so important to have the fixed asset schedule or the depreciation schedule prior to sending out the estimate. We really want to make sure that we've got the basis accurate. And then it's going to have the bonus rate. So for tax year 2022, we were at 100% bonus depreciation. So same thing, the total estimated accelerated depreciation expense with cost segregation, $1,264,640. Total estimated current year depreciation expense with cost segregation is $1,308,589. And what we're doing is we're going to go back in time and we're going to recreate your fixed asset schedule to show you what it should have been in 2022 and then pulling it forward. So you can see that we've got the building basis, again, the same straight line method. We have your land improvements. This time it's 100% bonus depreciation. So we're pulling that all the way across. Your asset class 57, distributive trades and services, your 5-year assets, the $875,520. This all gets pulled straight across because it's 100% bonus. And you can see that the total first year is going to be quite a bit higher. It's $1,299,302 because it's 100% bonus. And then the same thing, we show you what your fixed asset schedule would look like if you did not have a cost segregation study done. So again, it would be $83,000. So that's what you had already taken in depreciation for the current year. Now, if you go down to the second page of this, again, same thing. We're just going to break down what the depreciation looks like year over year. And you can see that since it was 100% bonus depreciation, you're taking all of the 5-year assets in the first year, all of the 15-year assets in the first year, and then you're spreading everything else out over 39 years. So clients ask me all the time, do I have to take all of the depreciation in the first year? Do I have to take that bonus depreciation? And the answer is no, you don't have to take all of it. Most clients do. Keep in mind that it's not a use it or lose it situation. So if you don't use it in year one, it'll roll to the next year. But you're definitely going to want to go over this with your CPA or your tax advisor. If you have any questions on your specific estimate of benefit, feel free to give me a call. I'm happy to answer questions. Thanks, and I'll talk to you soon.